What up, cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers? Happy February 6th to all of you. Thank you for watching Sportsbook Review. This is Betting with the Bag, Thursday, February 6th. 2 shows left. Let's make the most of them. And one man who is doing that is our very own Maxwell Smart, coming off a beauty day. He gave out 22 plays. 22 bets on this show yesterday, 15 wins, 7 losses, up 7.68 units. Our Maxwell Smart, he will be joining us 57 minutes from now. Babineaux, Ian Cameron will be joining us in just a few short minutes here to break down this giant NHL card. I went 1-1 yesterday on my plays on the show, but I made an official play late that got me. And Poppy was warning me about taking the over in Chicago, Boston. I still did. And I paid the consequences. Had an okay night in NBA. Overall 4-3 because I went 1-2 in props. My Clippers and Pacers that I gave out in the morning early were beautiful. Bourgeoisie. And then NCAA basketball, I am on a heater. I was in bad shape there. And almost, really slowed down my plays. But I'm on a little 21-6 run, up 14.79 units, making up for a real rough start to the year. Went 5-1 again last night, and I'm pumped. Very, very pumped. We have a packed show. Thank you guys so much for joining. Shout out to all the cappers in chat. Mark Unkefer in the house says, yes, congrats to me on the Raptors winning and the Pacers still covering. It was the perfect world. It was the most beautiful thing I've ever seen, that Ibaka three-pointer. Sweaty Butcher in the house. Primetime DJS ready to get to work. And wow, Primetime DJS hitting them Sabres tonight, winning regulation. I get it. I mean, what? The Red Wings haven't scored in 129 minutes. I've not made that move yet, but I get it. Sweaty Butcher, Jeffrey Ryan, Nilo, my guy Nilo from the 6 in the house. Ready to get to work. Omar J. Legend. Bruins saved me again. Minus 155 money line. The Blackhawks just have this incredible record on second half of back-to-backs. And it doesn't really make a ton of sense, but it's facts. It is facts. Dave and Cal, 48, ready to get to work. Mitch Bruner in the house says Pacers on Friday, revenge and get right spot. I thought they got right last night. There's Matt Randall in the house. I should have gave Colgate as a taint. Your show plays 4-2 yesterday. Matt, you're killing it. Don't worry. One loss does not a record make. Ernesto Fidalgo in the house. Paul Costa, Tom Pierce, Deer Slayer, Ski says, thank you for putting me on the Rangers. Well, you went on the over. That was all you. All you. Already tailed Flyers and Oilers action. Love it. Love it. Low bagger for life, says our Deer Slayer Ski. I love it. And Matt Randall already on Eastern Kentucky plus 265. Let me copy and paste that. We have a packed card. A packed card because of this giant NHL schedule. So we have a huge NHL schedule and a huge NCAA basketball schedule. It's packed, absolutely packed. There's my guy Yog Budu in the house. Drew Ski, 4-game over parlay last night in the NBA. That a boy, Drew Ski. Von Polo, Bob Berube says, I don't know if I should congratulate or be sad about the news. I understand, Bob. I completely understand that thought process. Completely understand that thought process. E. Dula says, shout out to Ski on Memphis moneyline and Hawks moneyline. Absolutely. DA wanting a big trade day. We are seconds or hours. 2 hours, I guess, for when is the deadline? Is the deadline in 54 minutes? Is that 12 Eastern? Maybe Babano will know that. Paco Healy, my guy. Original low bagger. Been with us since day one. Paco Healy, love you so much, Paco, and your support has meant so much to Pete and I and everybody here. Shout out to Paco Healy and San Diego. Love you, man. Okay, Ride Cape, Dave Berkey in the house. Berkey, Repula Gaming, Joseph Gomez, Trawam, Mr. Gokster, Slats 45, Joaquin Jordan, Barry McCockiner. Barry McCockiner says, devastated, know that tomorrow will be the last show. Been watching since Low Shack was here. Yeah, it's, the show is changing. Please explain. It's changing in a big way, Lance. Big way, but we don't have a lot of time because we have to cap this card. We have to milk every last second of these 2 days. It's my last time with Babineaux. I got to get Babineaux on very, very fast. I got to get him on their ski profit in-house. Peter Lucas, Crash 99 says, great day to be alive. There's Von Polo, Damian McCorston, Michael Jenkins, William Cox, Sammy in the house. Trot Wham! Rico Money. Rico, where you been, Holmes? Missed you, Rico. Nice to have Rico back. Gary Tenebra in the house. Christopherson Lim. Pittsburgh Gentlemen, Pennsylvania. Ready to get... Spread a stare! Okay, we got to get into basketball fast. We got all these expert cappers in the house. Robert Allen, Tom Marino, Tomor, Dan B, BT, Jimmy Cece. The King is back. Levi Christensen. With the new show coming, are you still going to have Teddy and Maxwell Smart on the show, Levi? No. I wish I could. I asked, I tried, but no. No more Maxwell Smart. I get 2 more days of Maxwell Smart, 2 more days of Teddy Covers, and that's life. That's the one thing, the one thing in life that will always be there is change. Change, what can I say? X3 Bros in the house. Okay, let's get to work right now. King is back. He's already put in Marshall -10. Ilya Cat says, what's happening to the show? The show is ending. The show is over. 2 more days of the show. Betting with the bag, as you know it, it's going to be gone. New show starts on Wednesday. Primetime DJ says, spread nice look on the Clippers. Boom. Yes, spread. Too easy. But, it did help that Jimmy Buckets got hurt. Okay, let's get to... Taint is posted. Where's the Taint? I missed the Taint. Al Hart says, how's the show changing? Jimmy, turn me up to speed. Less capping. I'm given 30 minutes to cap the card, and then I will be interviewing a stand-up comic on all things sports for 30 minutes that won't have to do with the daily card. So, Guillermo Zuturci, Sebastian Arnold. Okay, much love to you, Lance LaRose. Bob Berube goes 3-0 last night. Stephen Dollery says, will Max have a show? Yes. Max will have a show here at Sportsbook Review, and I wish I could be on it with him, but I am not. Tom Pierce, we are talking about time slots. I thought we had a lockdown, but it turns out that we don't. So I'll be finding out the time very, very soon. Okay, let's get to work. Let's bring in Babineaux right now. Babineaux coming to us live from Hamilton, Steeltown, Hamilton, Ontario. How are you doing on this Thursday morning, Babineaux?
I'm doing great, Jimmy. A little melancholy feeling knowing this is the last Thursday appearance for me on this show in this format as it's constituted. I know we got a massive NHL card, so I'm going to try to be brief with this. But look, this show's been around now for a couple of years, going back to when it was Low Shack in the Bag. It's been a great show, flat out. And the format's been great, breaking down all the major sports, breaking down the card, interacting with the chat. And Jimmy, years ago, you made the tough decision. You're Canadian like me. You lived in Toronto. You made the tough decision, I'm going to uproot myself when SBR gave you that opportunity, go down to Costa Rica, foreign country, language barrier, the whole bit, and what you've been able to build with this show, as it is, with Pete and then Betting with the Bag, which continued after Pete left, it's been marvelous. And because of this show, we've been able to give platforms to Parlay Poppy, DJ Big Boss, Big Ragu, these great cappers and great people, Dom Ricci, Anna Merrick, does a great job in MMA. Go on and on and on down the list, introducing us to great people, great cappers that finally have a platform to show that they're pretty talented with doing this as well. You've been a great host doing it. It's going to be missed. I know this is not the end of Jimmy the Bag by any stretch with your new show starting next week, and I understand you wanting to come back home, Jimmy, to Toronto. You've gone back and forth. You've had some personal issues to deal with. Going back home probably makes some sense to you from that standpoint. But, this has been a phenomenal show, and it's going to be missed. But, again, the people we've been able to meet, the fact that you took a chance, that you went to Costa Rica, joined SBR, did this show, and now because of it, Jimmy, guess what? You got a second family. And that second family is me and all the low baggers, and we'll always be here for you and always be here with you. So it's been a great run, but hopefully the future has a lot of good stuff on the way.
Oh, that is very, very, very kind of you to say all that, Babineaux. You are such a good man. It's been the best 2.5 years of my life, without a doubt, coming down here. And you've been a big part of it as well. I'm just very thankful, and thankful to be rolling with these incredible cappers in the chat. It's just changed my life for the better in so many different ways, and I'm extremely, extremely thankful. Extremely, extremely thankful, and thank you for those kind words. Now, Babineaux, let's put some cash in low baggers' pockets right now, and something in NHL I have not been doing. Rafa, could you pop up that record? Made that late call on the over in Boston, Chicago, right before puck drop, and down 1.77 units in on the year. And just Billy Cat says, Jimmy's my dad. Just before we get rolling, let's, I know it's sad that the show is ending, and I'm sad about it, but yes, Tom Pierce, I'm leaving Costa Rica. Viper NB in the house. Jimmy says Jimmy's going home. My guy Viper, I cashed on the Cleveland Cavaliers first quarter plus 4.5, and I could only think of you while I was sitting there pumping my fist. And I know that you cheer for me and you're not against me at all, but I mean, it was great. And Alex Ramirez in the house. We talk about the guys that put so much energy into the show. And Alex Ramirez, back-to-back Spidey Play of the Day winners, has earned our Alex Ramirez the Vegas Gun Award for excellence in camping. Alex Ramirez, you mean so much to me. You mean so much to the show. Congratulations, and thank you for all your hard work. And you deserve that award very much. Very, very much. Okay, let's get to work right now. Babineaux, we don't have a ton of time, and we do want to hear your NCAA basketball look, so I will keep my capping to a minimum. I've already locked in 6 bets, and Wings Sabres is not one of them. And quickly, as I pull up the best odds page on the planet, sportsbookreview.com, if you do want to help the show and me, I will never sell you anything in my life, ever. And if that means I have to go back to Yuck Yucks and sling jokes from shithole to shithole, I will go back to doing that. But one way you can help me is if you like, subscribe, and hit the link at the bottom of the page, www.sbrvideo.com/thebag. That would help me very, very much. There's Noli Nos in the house. Let's get to work on this card right now and start with this bum fight in Buffalo. Red Wings, Buffalo. Buffalo opened up at -220. They're now at -209. This total has been sitting at 6. Bernier has looked good. You know, while Howard has fallen to pieces, Bernier stepped up, 2.89 goals against average, 908 save percentage, 10-14-2 on a team that's 12-38-4. So if you put that in perspective, he's had a pretty good year. Carter Hutton, great in the dressing room, weak on the ice. Sabres have lost 4 or 5. They got shellacked by the Lanch, 6-1 on Tuesday. They play 5 of their next 6 games at home. They need to win and win fast. What better team to do it against than the Wings? 0-8-1 over their past 9. Shut out in back-to-back home games. Haven't scored in 129 minutes. No Mantha, no Philippe Zadina. Are you making a move on Wings Sabres? I've yet to, Babineaux.
Hell no. I want no part of this game. I don't want to lay this price with Buffalo, and I'm not taking Detroit when they're on a 9-game losing streak. And there is something I am interested in, though, in this game, is that if you like goal-scoring props, and if you have access to books that provide point props, and there are player point props, I think there are 2 on Buffalo that are worth looking at. Jack Eichel and Sam Reinhart. These are the only 2 guys that are consistently scoring and consistently providing offense for this team. Everybody else is completely dormant in terms of this Sabres team offensively. Not those 2 guys, though. Eichel, 15 points in his last 13 games. Reinhart, 13 points in his last 12 games. I think Reinhart and Eichel to score. Reinhart, Eichel over their point totals tonight. That's something I'm interested in terms of props. But side and total, I got nothing on this game.
Well, you've been crushing the prop bets, and you've been doing that with Eichel. Eichel's been a big piece of your cashing, and I get it. And Sammy Reinhart is I love the Reinhart family immensely, and started with Paul, and then all the brothers, and Griffin played hockey where I played when I was younger, and I was hoping that he would be a stud in the NHL, and it's sad that I think he's still on the Wolves right now. But I like your prop bets. Let's move on to the next look, and I have taken the Anaheim Ducks plus 155. Babineaux, I'm very interested to hear what you have to say about this, and a lot of the low baggers know that I despise the Habs. That's how my dad raised me, okay? But I'm on the Ducks plus 155 here because, to me, this is the Ducks' Stanley Cup playoffs. They have won the first 2 games of a 5-game road trip. I mean, sure, against weaklings, but getting a chance to play at the Bell Center, Thursday night hockey, sold out. This is their playoffs. This is their biggest game of the year, and they're healthier than they've ever been. And the Habs are still talking about the flu. Lindgren says our trainers have been saying this is the worst flu in 10 years. They're battling, they're battling sickness in Montreal, but the Ducks are healthier than they've ever been. They got Case back. I'm going to get a plus 155 on the Ducks here, and I'm just going to flat out take it. Let's see what I'm getting on the money line right now. Money line here with the Ducks. Let's see what I'm getting quickly. I got plus 155. I believe it was at 5 times. I bet it at plus 150, and there still is a 150 at Bovada, but Bet365 has moved down to 135. I beat that move by 15 cents. Babineaux, take it away. Ducks, Habs.
Yeah, I don't fault you for taking Anaheim. If I had to bet this game, I would take Anaheim. I'm personally passing, but Anaheim, they are 5-2 their last 7 games. They've played better. You mentioned Andre Kasha back in the lineup, 20 goals or 11 goals, this season. But having him back's going to help out Raquel and try to get this Ducks offense going a little bit. Montreal, an amazing comeback win. They were left for dead against New Jersey. They came back and won. And I'm leery with the flu, and they were fortunate as can be to come back and win that game. So, I definitely don't want to lay this price. I was trying to get a sense of, has this dressing room given up on the playoffs? And Ilya Kovalchuk had a great quote from him saying, "We're not giving up. We're trying to do something special." I think that comeback will build a lot of confidence for our home games. We have to play way better at home, and I think we can. That quote tells me I think Montreal hasn't given up. The comeback against New Jersey, I think, proven they haven't given up. So with Montreal desperate as can be right now, I don't want to go against them. However, I understand the thought with Anaheim. There's a flu going around Montreal. It's a big price to be laying with them. So I lean Anaheim. I wish you good luck, but I'm going to stay off it personally.
I get it, and Montreal have hurt me. Yog, my man, our last show is tomorrow. Tomorrow. Okay, let's keep rolling. Battle of Titans here. Penguins, Lightning, both teams 71 points, only behind the Caps, Bruins, and Blues. Coming into last night, Yari versus Vasilevsky. Although Matt Murray's trying to get that number 1 spot back. Tampa Bay rolling right now, 1-4 in a row, 5 of 6. Stamkos eating. Vasilevsky has a chance to break the franchise record held by the Bulin Wall, Nikolai Habib-Bulin. Pittsburgh's won 2 straight, and that franchise record is a personal point streak. He's at 16 games, and he can break Habib-Bulin's record if he gets a point tonight. Pittsburgh won 2 straight, 8 of 10. They've been hanging out in Florida all week. And if the Lightning weren't such big favorites, I probably would take the Lightning first period. But I want to be able to push on a 0-0. So I've stayed off of it. I've stayed off of this spot. The battle of heavyweights. Let's see what the market is telling us right now. Babineaux here at sportsreview.com. Tampa Bay opening up at minus 166. That's where they stand right now. Have you made a move on Lightning Penguins?
Yeah, I do like the over in this game a little bit, 6.5. I don't love it, but I like it a lot. I like it enough to bet it over 6.5. It's been a very strong over-trending series history. I believe 8-2 out of the over the last 10 head-to-head meetings with the Penguins and the Lightning. The Penguins certainly offensively are very dangerous, very capable right now. And you're seeing the same thing right now out of the Tampa Bay Lightning. Nice win for them the other night against Vegas. I was tempted by Pittsburgh too, but you're right about them staying in Florida. That bothers me. And just Tampa Bay playing as well as they have for the last several weeks. I'm not necessarily in a rush to go against them. But in a lot of these big games, this is going to be a game that a lot of people are anticipating. Penguins and Lightning, 2 teams streaking in the right direction, playing well. A lot of times people say, the big games, defense takes over. I find the last couple seasons in the NHL, you get these big games, offense takes over. Look at the Battle of Alberta, Jimmy. I mean, the games just exploded in terms of goals in both of those games. I think you get something similar here. I know Vasilevsky's on a tremendous run in net for the Lightning, but he'll be tested by this Pittsburgh team. I think he can get over 6.5.
Yeah, he'll be tested for sure. 6.5, interesting. My first instinct is playoff style hockey. My first instinct is to go under that 6.5. In the playoffs for the Pittsburgh Penguins, Game 1, who do you expect to be in net?
I think it's Matt Murray. I know Tristan Jarry has probably had the better season for extended stretches, but Matt Murray's on a roll right now, playing better. I think he's won 6 straight starts, if I'm not mistaken, coming into this game against Tampa Bay. And he's the guy that's been there, done that in the postseason for the Penguins in the past. A Stanley Cup winner as a starter. You have to defer to him and give him that first shot for as good as Jari's been at times.
Yeah, I agree. I think Matt Murray will be the guy. But the more we talk about it, the more I feel like this is a playoff-type hockey game. And if I'm getting 6.5, the opportunity for 6.5, I want to go under that. I mean,
I hear you, and both goalies have been in good form. But again, think about Pittsburgh and Washington on Sunday. It goes back to my point that when it's a big game and two teams that are offensively capable, not that they're defensively incapable, because they are, but I find the offenses rise to the occasion a bit more. Like Pittsburgh and Washington was supposed to be this big Titanic clash Sunday afternoon before the Super Bowl, and you could have made the argument playoff-style game, and maybe it's going to be lower scoring, and it got over the total as well. So that's my thinking. I find these bigger games and these teams that both have offensive capabilities and star players on both sides, I find they're going over more than they're going under. Not that it can't go under, but I find you're getting a few more higher-scoring games than you are the other vice versa.
I am going to make a move on this under right now. You know what? I don't want to sit here and hum a ha. I'll have the rest of the card to think about. Actually, I'll just leave that as a lean. Okay, let's keep rolling along. Next up, Golden Knight Panthers. I thought this 6.5 was absolutely unbelievable that it was being offered to us. There was 2 spots on this card where I was like, really, you're going to offer me a 6.5? I'm going to jump all over it. Now, this is a little trickier. But the Panthers without Barkov, maybe Barkov comes back tonight, but we've seen this before. Bobrovsky gets hot, and he saved 44 saves against Columbus. This Panthers team knows to win games, they have to tighten up the ship. Golden Knights are trying to finish off this road trip with a victory. Both teams penalty killing create situations where they're high-scoring games. You know, a Knight 79.9% penalty killing, Panthers 77.6% penalty killing. All that said and done, I thought the under 6.5 was a really nice opportunity here. I took it at minus 120. Knights, Panthers, you making a move?
Yeah, this is the game I'd be more inclined to look under because Florida, Bobrovsky's been excellent. You know, he's finding it right now. Played well, no fault at him whatsoever. In fact, he's the only reason they came back and beat Toronto. He's really the only reason they had a chance against Columbus the other night, losing in the shootout or overtime 1-0. So it was really a great goaltending performance both nights from him, which is a good sign. The Vegas Golden Knights off the loss against Tampa Bay. Peter DeBoer's kind of preached better structure, better defensive play with them the last few games. It sort of played out that way. They were in that 1-0 stalemate with Nashville, and then the game against Tampa Bay goes under the total. So this is the game of the 2 6.5s. We talked about the Pittsburgh game before. Be more inclined to look at this game under the total here. I'm leaning to the Golden Knights, but you know Florida's just in that state of desperation now. They need the points. They're off the loss against Columbus. Bobrovsky's playing really well right now. I don't really want to go against that. So I lean to the Knights, but it's probably going to be a pass game for me.
I lean to the Knights as well. I just I need to be rewarded for taking road teams. And how do you feel the injuries to Carlson and Cody Glass have affected these Knights?
Yeah, I mean, to me, Carlson is not a big deal. It's been a disappointing season for him. Not that they don't miss him, but you know, he's just not had that impact that he had last year. And there's been times he's been totally invisible. Like you can't even see, barely even musters a shot on goal in a lot of games this year. That's how bad it's been at times for Carlson. Glass has been good. Glass is one of those. He shows up at both ends of the ice. He's been good, you know, in all situations. He's given that team energy every shift he's out there. I think they miss. It's crazy to say that because of Carlson's talent and what Carlson's done in the past. But right now, in terms of the way these players have played on the ice for the Golden Knights this season, I'd say they're missing Glass a little bit more than Carlson because he just gives you more of that sandpaper element too.
That's an interesting breakdown, and I love it. I just need a plus line. If I'm going to take a road team, I need a plus line. If I don't get a plus line, I rarely take them. Although I am on the Avalanche this evening. We will get to that game shortly. But next up on this giant card, we got to speed it up a bit. Kings, Islanders. Islanders opening up at minus 198. They're now minus 194. This total has been juiced to the under 5.5 all day. Quick, Varlamov, Campbell in a moved to the Leafs in a trade yesterday. I think that the Kings. I watched that Capitals game. I was on Capitals -1.5, and I was very fortunate to cash that with that Ovechkin hat trick. I feel like the Kings are actually coming together, even though it's not showing in their win-loss record. And Doughty's now back. And the Islanders have been questionable for a while now, Babineaux, and I just don't like them as this big of a favorite. Kings, Islanders, are you making a move?
No, not in this game. I'll keep it brief. I think the Islanders win this game, but I'm not at all comfortable laying -190, -200 with them. And here's that first trade that's a sign of a team that's going to be broken up quite a bit at the trade deadline. The Kings with the Clifford and Campbell deal to the Leafs yesterday. Is that a team I'm going to be looking to bounce back when they're going to be clear sellers at the deadline? Is that a team I'm going to be looking to back in a lot of situations? No, especially not against a superior team. So I lean Islanders. I think they win, but I'm not laying the price. It's a pass.
All right, let's keep rolling down this card and tons of games. Next up, we have this Devils Flyers spot. You know, the Flyers very quietly have a spectacular home record. Elliott has a chance to step up here. I still expect him to be in net. I expect the Flyers to smash this Devils team. That looks terrible without Hischier and Vatanen. I can't believe they couldn't seal the deal against the Habs. I paid the price for a big favorite here at home. I took the Flyers -1.5. And what did I get? I've got to check out. Sorry, I was rushing to get through all these NHL and NBA games. I believe I got. You know what? I'll double check right now. Devils Flyers. I backed the Flyers here. Did you make a move?
Yeah, I would only back the Flyers. I'm with you. It would be Flyers or nothing. Flyers on the puck line, obviously. I wouldn't take -220 on them. But I don't know if I'm comfortable doing that without Carter Hart with them. I mean, Elliott and Alex Lyon, I'm not sure I'm a full believer of either of those two guys in terms of their consistency. All that being said, there's no way I would ever touch New Jersey in this spot. No way. Not after they blew that game against Montreal. A flu-ridden, struggling Montreal team came back from 3-0 down and ended up rallying to get the 5-4 win against New Jersey. It's just a gut punch of a loss for a team that's actually been fighting the good fight, Jimmy. You look at their results since the break. New Jersey's been right there, competitive in every game. They beat Ottawa, took Nashville to a shootout, took Dallas to overtime, and then, of course, had the shootout loss and collapsed against Montreal. So they've been competitive. They haven't folded the tent. They haven't quit for a team that's losing, not going to make the playoffs, going nowhere, and probably selling at the trade deadline. So you got to give the Devils credit for that. But in this spot, after that kind of loss the other night against Montreal, I flat out don't trust them. So I'm with you. It'd be Flyers puck line or nothing, and I opted to save nothing.
I get it. Plus 115 is expensive. It's expensive to take the Flyers here, -1.5. And Tom Marino, Drew struggling. Hasn't scored a goal in 12 games, 13 goals, 35 points on the season. But they are going to get Ghost back. Ghost is there. And I think he'll give them a boost as a big favorite here at home. I think they roll. I took two big favorites. I took these Flyers and I took these Avalanche at the Senators. Avs are rolling, and they have to. They have to stay in this race in the Central. So this is a huge game for them. Senators aren't scoring. They've scored more than 2 goals 4 times in the last 11 games. Anisimov and Batherson are the only guys rolling for them right now. They're 2-6-7 over the last 15. And the second line, now this Avalanche team has a second line. Kadri, Burakovsky, and Nishushkin, Burakovsky, Kadri are rolling. The Avs have scored 24 goals over their last 5 games. I took them -1.5 and +125. Have you made a move?
Yeah, I've got 2 on this game. Puck line and over. Puck line -1.5 on the Avs and over 6.5 in this game. Colorado's defense, don't be fooled by the Buffalo game the other night. I saw good portions of that. Buffalo had chances, like really good prime scoring chances, grade A chances, but they're a bad team and they didn't capitalize on a lot of them. There was a post one time. There's some missed nets. Some good saves by Grubauer, but Grubauer's been hit or miss the last few weeks. He's been struggling. Ottawa at home tends to score a bit more. And I don't think Colorado's completely shutting them down. And the effort every night from Ottawa, it's a good, hard-working, honest effort you get from DJ Smith's team most of the time from this Senators group. So I think they can get on the board for some. But I think Colorado will absolutely shell this Ottawa team defensively. They got their offense back on track against Buffalo. Colorado's had no problem this year scoring, Jimmy, in games against some of the weakest teams in the NHL. They've absolutely lit up bad teams offensively when they've played them. So I like Colorado to win by 2 or more. And I actually like the over even more than the puck line in this game. Over 6.5 -125. We should see a 5-2 type of game. I could see that being the final for Colorado.
I like it. I absolutely like it. I have been cashing on Senators unders for the last about 2 weeks or so, but it definitely wouldn't do that when the Avalanche are coming to town. Let's move on to Jets Blues. Blues 11-game home point streak on the line. Babineaux, they've got 21 of a possible 22 points at the Enterprise Center over this streak. They're just rolling. Only the Penguins have more wins on home ice. They bounce back from that ugly Western Canadian road trip. 6-3 win over Carolina on Tuesday night. Carolina's a good hockey team. Carolina might not even make the playoffs now. Winnipeg comes in off a 2-1 overtime loss. The Jets beat the Blues 5-2 just a week ago, and I was thinking, man, do I take the Blues here? And I was just a little hesitant. Did you make a move on this game, Jets-Blues?
Yeah, it would only be St. Louis for me. And in fact, I still might bet them. I haven't yet, so I want to hold off on recommending it. But the Blues have been amazing at home. I mean, their home record's been great. They pummeled Carolina the other night. They're in revenge for a loss at Winnipeg against the Jets on Saturday night. And the Jets have been, struggling mightily, particularly on the road. Tough loss for them against Nashville the other night. They really needed that win considering Nashville's struggles, and they couldn't get the job done. It's been obviously defensively, it's a very thin blue line for Winnipeg. I mean, the difference between the St. Louis blue line, which is so deep, so strong, so sturdy, and the Winnipeg blue line, it really is amazing. And I thought St. Louis just got caught up a little bit in the last meeting against Winnipeg. They made some uncharacteristic turnovers. Craig Berube's going to try to talk about that loss to them going into this game. So it's definitely a blue spot. It would be the only way I would back this game is looking at St. Louis in some form.
Same here, but I didn't. And maybe this is going to be a mistake. Maybe I should add them on as a puck line. All right, next up, Canucks Wild. Vancouver, Minnesota. So we talk about Minnesota. When they get smashed, they come back hard. Vancouver doesn't seem to do that. But I'm hesitant to fade them in any situation right now. Wild coming off 3-2 overtime win over the Blackhawks on Tuesday. Their penalty killing, which is awful. 30th in the league. 74% stepped up against the Blackhawks. Blackhawks don't have a strong power play. The Canucks do and can take advantage of that. Wild, JT Miller's been spectacular for the Knuckleheads. This wraps up a 5-game road trip. Do they want to come home? They're 14-5-1 over their last 20. This was a tricky game for me, and I just stayed off of it. Did you make a move in Canucks Wild?
Yeah, I'm on Vancouver here. It's one of my stronger plays tonight for sure. I always am interested. How do teams fare after they get shut out? Do they bounce back? Do they get on the board offensively? And more importantly, do they win? Well, Vancouver's been shut out 3 previous times before the 4-0 shutout loss against Boston the other night. 3 previous shutout losses before that. They bounced back and won the next game each time. So they've been that kind of respond team. They've played well after being shut out. I expect that here. I know Minnesota beat Chicago in overtime, but still, the Minnesota penalty kill was a little bit better in that game. But still, it's been a miserable penalty kill. Vancouver's got the power play to take advantage of it. I think after getting shut out, you get that offense going. I don't trust Stalock or Dubnyk at this point in time, regardless of who's in net for the Wild. You're right about the Canucks going home, and that's a home game against Calgary coming up on Saturday. That is a big game in the division. Maybe a slight concern with that, but I'm seeing Horvat, Hughes, couple guys on this team talking about we're 2-2 on this road trip. We really want to end it, with a winning record on this road trip, which they'll need to win tonight in order to achieve that goal. I think they bring it, and they're flat out the better of these two teams, and I can get a plus price. And I think their track record off a shutout loss has been stellar this year. So, yeah, I'm on Vancouver here at a nice road underdog price.
I get it. They weren't shut out in that horrifying loss to Tampa when they followed that up with another horrifying loss to Florida in those back-to-back games. So that doesn't work with your stats because it wasn't a shutout. But that was a 2 back-to-back disaster, and it's so fresh in my memory. But you're right, 2-2 on the road trip. Let's get this last win and get home. I'm still a little hesitant. Shout out to Justin Bilbo. We got Anthony Chalmers, Dom Ricci in the house. Mr. Gokes, do Guru Sports Bets. Okay, let's keep rolling. Next up, Predators, Flames. The Predators just get so much love especially on the road. And they're 14-9-3 on the road, and I get it. But the market just, every time they're on the road, I'm like, oh, Nashville could do some damage here. And then I look, and I'm like, man, they're expected to. This is a pick 'em. I mean, bookmaker has Nashville as the favorite in this game on the road, which I find shocking. Predators 74.5% penalty killing. That's how you lose in the NHL. The Flames look terrible, and I'm happy they do. I want the Flames to lose. Now they've lost Giordano. We don't know for how long. Last year's Norris Trophy winner. I stayed off this game. Predators Flames. Did you make a move?
Yeah, I'm on Calgary. I can't say it's a super strong, but I'm on Calgary here in this game. And you're right. There's got to be, Jimmy, a great point you made about the Nashville money always coming in on them on the road. There's got to be some sort of Nashville Predator betting syndicate out there. Because I swear to God, every friggin' game on the road, they're taking money. They did against Winnipeg. I mean, they took all the money. Now, they won that game, but still, they were getting bet like crazy the other night when they were in Winnipeg. Same thing here. Calgary opened -115. Nashville now is road chalk here at -115. I took Calgary the other night against San Jose on the puck line. I thought after the shellacking they took against Edmonton in the Battle of Alberta, they'd be chomping at the bit to bounce back. But both of those teams, I thought Calgary would be immune to the letdown and the clunker and laying an egg after the emotional, intense Battle of Alberta matchups with Edmonton, but they weren't immune to it. They were flat as can be against San Jose the other night. I'd expect them to be better here against Nashville. I know Nashville beat Winnipeg on the road, but they've been alternating wins and losses. They have not shown one bit of consistency under John Hines. I still don't trust Saros and Rinne right now, their goalies, other than Roman Josi on the back end. No other Nashville blue liner is playing at a high level right now, and certainly offensively, too many times they're relying on 1.5 lines to do all the scoring for them. So I think Calgary gets it done tonight, -115. Hopefully they finally snap out of their doldrums, but I think the Flames will play better tonight. And even though Giordano's out, I subscribe to the theory of the first game when you lose a key player like that, everybody steps up. I think that'll happen tonight.
I agree, and I made that same mistake. With the Flames, but not a chance. There's not a chance that I want the Flames right now. Not a chance. Okay. We've got to make moves and bring in Teddy Covers. Hurricanes, Coyotes. The Coyotes stepped up against the Oilers. I've got futures on them, and they're 2-unit bets on the division and the conference, and I'm nervous about them. And the Hurricanes look susceptible, but I don't want to compound losses. So I'm not making a move. I'll just cheer on the Coyotes tonight. Did you make a move here in Coyotes, Hurricanes?
I haven't decided yet if I'm going to back Arizona, but it would be Arizona or nothing for me. I think Carolina's susceptible on the road. Their road efforts lately have been porous at times. And again, against St. Louis, a good team, but just a brutal game for them the other night against the Blues. I think the fact that Arizona to me is a good hockey team. I still believe that. I know the Darcy Kemper injury has hurt with them with having to go with Ronta and Aiden Hill every night. Offensively, they've been quiet lately, but I like backing good enough teams. And of course, they're without Oliver Ekman-Larsson, or Oliver Lawsome Tossum, as Don Cherry called him. He's out with a lower body injury for a long time. That hurts big time. But I like that they finally got a win, snapped that losing streak against Edmonton. Maybe they took advantage of a flat Oilers team, but I think that's momentum into tonight. I haven't pulled the trigger yet, but if I do, it would be Arizona.
I agree with that breakdown. And then the second thing is I'm not letting that 3-0 loss in Arizona scare me. I'm not letting that Sharks win in Calgary scare me. I'm on the under 6.5. This felt not quite as bullish as I was with that Columbus, Florida, where I said it was the best hockey bet of the year. But Sharks Oilers under 6.5, my eyes popped out. The Sharks are playing like the Jackets now, low scoring. And you know that Carlson is going to be the defense of the Sharks are just going to be watching for Draisaitl, McDavid all game. I'm on the Oilers -1.5 at +160. I'm on the under 6.5. And these are the best plays on the card for me. I think I cashed them both. Oilers, Sharks, are you making a move?
Yeah, I'm fading San Jose every game until further notice, and I finally paid the price for it with Calgary the other night when I faded them. But I'm sticking with it one more time until I lose 2 in a row, Jimmy. Going against San Jose, I'm going to keep doing it. I haven't lost 2 in a row. I had won every anti-San Jose bet following the All-Star break prior to the Calgary game. So I'm with you on the Oilers puck line -1.5. I didn't touch the total, but I hear you. San Jose is not wanting to play 6-5, 5-4 games. They can't. Not with no Tomas Hertl, not with no Logan Couture, not with very little scoring depth from their third or fourth lines these days. They're going to try to keep it compact, help out their shaky goaltending duo of Jones and Dell, and that's the way they're trying to win and trying to play right now. So I absolutely see your point on the under. For me, I'm going to go with just the puck line on the Oilers. I think they bounce back.
Yeah, I think they do. So does Tomarino Tomor. That is our NHL card. Babineaux, we don't have time for breakdowns, but did you make any moves in NCAA basketball so we could talk about with Teddy and with Max?
I've moved on two totals in Conference USA. Southern Miss Marshall over 146 I got. It's 147. I still like it at 147. Southern Miss, I went back and looked. They're a bad offensive team, slow-paced team. But what happens when they play hyper-speed, up-tempo basketball teams? Those fast-paced teams pull them into their style of game. Southern Miss has gone over with Rice, UTSA, Alabama, all of these faster-paced basketball teams. I think you'll get something similar there. And the other one I like, I'm fading a huge move. UTSA Old Dominion, the total opened 147. It's down to 141 now. I'm now on the over at 141. I think it's moved too far. UTSA doesn't play a lick of defense. They do have a great backcourt. And Old Dominion is a choppy offense, but everybody's been scoring on UTSA. That's how bad defensively they've been. I think that game now goes over a much discounted total.
Great stuff, Babineaux. I've captured your NCAA action. I'm on 6 plays in NHL, and I'm very close to adding the Blues. I'm probably going to add the Blues. I just need a little bit more time. I'm on the Panthers Knights under 6.5 and minus 120. Sharks Oilers under 6.5 and minus 120. I'm on the under 6.5 minus 115. I'm on the Ducks plus 155. I'm on the Avalanche minus 1.5 at plus 130. I'm on the Flyers minus 1.5 plus 120. Oilers minus 1.5 plus 160. Could you review your NHL looks? And thank you so much for joining us. I've enjoyed capping with you immensely over this last little while. And I know that we will get a chance to cap again together soon in some form or another. So I look forward to that very much. Babineaux, you are a great guy, great capper. And could you please review your action?
It's been a great run, and I know the guy coming following me, Teddy. You've had great rapport with Teddy. I don't get to watch the show every day, but you and Teddy together, the chemistry, the rapport has been great with you two guys. So it's been a lot of fun. That'll be missed as well, seeing you guys break down the card every day. But Pittsburgh, Tampa Bay over 6.5 minus 110. I'm on that. I'm on the Buffalo scoring props, Eichel and Reinhart to score, and over their points, 1.5 points each at a nice plus price. I'm on Colorado puck line minus 1.5 and over 6.5. Colorado, Ottawa, Vancouver plus 110 against Minnesota. We're on Calgary minus 115 against Nashville, and Edmonton puck line minus 1.5 against San Jose. And I'm on the 2 Conference USA overs: UTSA Old Dominion over, Marshall Southern Miss over.
I love it, Babineaux. I know that we'll be working again together soon. There he is, Babineaux. Follow him on Twitter at Babineaux. Absolutely great stuff. We go right from Babineaux to Teddy Covers, coming to us live from Las Vegas, Nevada on a Thursday morning. Teddy, how you doing this morning, my man?
I'm all right today. I had a kiss your sister night last night, which is no crisis, but no fun either. And looking forward to a good Thursday. How about yourself, buddy? I heard you got some big news coming out. Yeah, big news coming out, and it's sad. It is what it is. But I've enjoyed capping with you and Babineaux and all these guys. I mean, I just enjoy the capping process so much, and that's it. I just enjoy it so much. So moving away from that, we'll see how it pops off. Change is just something that we all have to deal with in life, and I am excited about getting back to Canada and trying something new and being at the Dog and Bear and working with comedians and things of that nature. But I've enjoyed what we've done here immensely, and I would like just to focus on that and have 2 big days with you, and maybe we can get a little bit sad tomorrow. But right now, let's just enjoy this process that I find so much fun. And I had a winning day in NBA yesterday, 4-3. The 1-2 in props, and that hurt me. But with sides, I was in business. The Pacers was nice. The Clippers was nice. I went on the Cavaliers first quarter plus 4.5. Finally, took me all day to get my balls strong enough to make the move. Rafa, could you pop up the NBA record? Because it's a little better than it was yesterday. All right, let's get to work right now on this NBA card. Teddy, have you got to the window on any of these 5 games? I have one of them. Only one. And I played the Lakers minus the 7.5 against the Rockets.
I'm really tempted by Milwaukee. I was tempted by New Orleans, but the only one I pulled on, and I'm a little bit tempted by San Antonio. So I have more opinion. I have opinions on almost every game. But the only one that I've actually taken money out of my pocket to bet was the Lakers -7.5. And it has everything to do with the small ball that Houston's playing right now. You look at the Rockets' rebounding numbers of late. Okay, and it's been 4 games. Let me just pull these up real quick. 4 games that Houston has played this small ball, where they rallied from behind and stole a cover against Charlotte. And they rallied from behind and stole a cover. That game where the Pelicans had all those turnovers early on. It certainly wasn't a game where you'd be like, oh, Houston's got it together. The rebounding numbers are kind of staggering. All right. They're -12 against Charlotte in their last game. Charlotte can't rebound. They're at the bottom of the league in rebounding margin. Houston's -12 in that game. -20 against the Pelicans, -19 against the Mavs, -11 against Portland. When you're giving your opponent that many extra possessions because you can't rebound, you better be extraordinarily offensively efficient. And again, tight little cover against New Orleans, tight little cover against Charlotte. Now they're playing against a Lakers team that, we saw a different level of focus from LA the other night. And I'm not expecting them to rain threes like they were raining threes against San Antonio. This isn't about that. This is about dominating the paint and dominating the glass and getting extra possessions. And the Lakers are winning the rebounding battle every night, and they're big in the paint. And okay, Houston can spread them out on the floor. Maybe they hit some jump shots. But at the end of the game, the Lakers could have 10, 15, 20 more possessions than the Rockets just because of their ability to rebound, where Houston can't, playing the small ball style. So I laid 7.5 with the Lakers. I like the matchup. And frankly, I think the Rockets have gotten worse. And when you're trading away key pieces and trying to put, let's see what Covington does and all that. Okay, maybe they figure it out over the course of the next few weeks. But first game after a trade? No. Lakers, minus the points. That one stood out to me a fair bit.
I agree. We know what happens through death, and that's that people come together. They come together, the bonds strengthen. And We're seeing that happen with the Lakers right now. We're seeing a real love for each other and to care about each other. And when LeBron hit those 5 threes in the fourth quarter, I don't remember seeing other players happy for LeBron like that in his whole career. And so something has changed. In fact, my whole plan was to bet the Clippers to win the championship once the playoffs started and I knew that Paul and Kawhi were healthy. And I may not be doing that anymore. I agree with you. Something's changed. And what's changed is very, very dangerous for every other team in the NBA. And I'm going to jump with you here. -7.5 at -105 for the Lakers. -7.5 at -105 for the Lakers. I love it. Great start. Very, very interesting, Cap, there. All right, let's start rolling through this card. We're going to start with Magic Knicks next up. Magic pace last 5, 30th in the NBA, 93 possessions a game. Knicks pace last 5, 25th, 97.47 possessions a game. And then we have these trades that we have to imagine that Marcus Morris is not going to be a New York Knick come the end of the day. I don't even know if he's a New York Knick right now. We think he's going to be moved very soon. Magic on the second half of a back-to-back after losing 116-100 at Boston last night. Orlando 1-6 last 7 games. 5 of those losses coming by double digits. I almost pulled. You kept me from pulling the trigger on the Magic yesterday. And when it got down to 5.5, I was like, what are you doing? And then I go home thankful that Teddy Covers is my life. Magic 17-6 against sub-500 opponents. Knicks enter a chance for a 3-game winning streak. Shocking. The 92-85 in Indiana, 139-134 overtime in Cleveland on Monday. And, Steve Mills fired, the crowd chanting, sell the team to Dolan, that clown. I don't know what to do with this spot. It'd be Orlando or nothing, and maybe I'm best off with nothing. Viper NB had a good idea about backing Vucevic props, but I have to look at how many minutes he played last night. This is the first that's come to my attention. Magic Knicks, minus 2.5 point favorites for the Magic on the road, and this total at 205.5. Are you making a move here, Teddy?
It's a very easy pass for me. All right. You have the Knicks off back-to-back wins. And you ask me, all right, do I trust the Knicks off back-to-back wins to make it 3 in a row? I do not. Not even close. And it's not like I'm going to hesitate to bet against the Knicks. I got them 7-7 against the spread off a win. They haven't been a disaster. But they're not a team that I expect to go on many winning streaks. I'll just leave it like that. So, and of course, you talked about the issues at the trade deadline for a team like New York, where there are lots of guys in that locker room that maybe dealt before. Morris is the biggest name, but I mean, I've heard a bunch of names on the Knicks that are being bandied about right now, and that's, it's good by tip-off because everyone that's there is there, but we don't know what's going to happen between now and then. So in terms of moving pieces, the Knicks have a lot. And, I mean, I continue to hear Fournier's name bandied about at the deadline. I continue to hear Aaron Gordon's name bandied about at the deadline for Orlando. We don't know what the Magic are going to do either. There's a good chance that not a good chance. There is a chance that they could have a blockbuster today, and break up that team. So I'd say, lay a couple points with Orlando. Worth noting, by the way, second of back-to-backs this year. There have been 8 previous ones for Orlando. They have 1 win, and they're laying points on the road tonight. So I'm not comfortable with the Magic. I'm not comfortable with the Knicks. From a total standpoint, we do expect a low-scoring game. That said, 206 is as low as it gets in the modern NBA. So I'm not in a rush to play this total. And this, of all the games on the card today, this was the one that I came the furthest away from making a play on. I wasn't close on side or total or props in this one.
Understandably so. The Vucevic prop is sitting at 18.5. It's minus 130. So it's heavily juiced to that over. Let's move on to Pelicans at Bulls. Pelicans pace last 5 games second in the NBA, 107.2 possessions a game. It's unbelievable. That's 14 more possessions a game than what Orlando Magic are getting. Bulls pace last 5, 23rd in the association. Pelicans coming off 120-108 home loss against the Bucks on Tuesday night. And then Zion was added to the injury report yesterday with a sprained toe on his right foot. So I don't know if you have any insight on what's going on there. Teddy, Bulls last game was that 129-102 loss Saturday night at Toronto. Just a banged up squad right now. So they lose Chris Dunn. Right knee injury. Markkanen missed 6 games with a pelvis injury stress reaction. Wendell Carter Jr. hasn't played since January 6th. Otto Porter Jr. played just 9 games. All this team has is Zach LaVine. And I have some interest in a player prop with them because we will see a fast-paced game here with the Pelicans in town. Let's see what this market is telling us. Best odds page on the planet, sportsbookreview.com. This New Orleans squad opening up at minus 3.5. It was 4.5 this morning. It's now 5 or 5.5. What's your move here, Teddy?
So I had New Orleans circled, but unfortunately my number on the game was 3.5, and it opened 4.5, and now we're looking at 5s, and so it's priced me out of it a little bit. I know I don't want Chicago. Boy, I saw some really good, what I consider to be, the meaningful quotes are the quotes where you're like, oh my, it stands out. And Zach LaVine gave some quotes talking about the season in the past tense and what a rough year it's been. And Chicago, to me, you talked about the injury woes, and they're just getting worse. They're not getting better. I'm not convinced there's a whole lot of love lost between the Boylan and his players. I have no arguments with any Zach LaVine props over, but the Bulls are a tough take right now. They really are. The question is, New Orleans what are they, back-to-back losses? Are the Pelicans a team we trust to win by margin on the highway yet? And that's really what it comes down to. And again, they're not just a win; they got to win by 6 or more now to cover this number, with 5 being the prevailing number as we speak. And part of me, I could only take New Orleans here in road chalk. And at the same time, you know how it is, Jimmy. When you start falling in love with these short and middle road chalks, that's you can get yourself into trouble that way. You really can. As awful as the Bulls have been, and they've been pretty awful, it's not like And it's not even a team with a huge home court edge. That said, they won 3 of their last 4 at home. It's not been a disaster for the Bulls in this venue. So the lean is New Orleans. The price just isn't right, given my power rating number and given my concerns about the Pelicans' ability to close out this game by margin on the highway. Only way I'd play it is New Orleans, but I didn't play it.
And you've kept me off all player props at 29.5, and it saved me money. So I should stay off this one too. You know what? If I'm tracking the plays that you've kept me off, and I would have lost money on them, why would I add one? It just makes no sense. So I'm not going to add a Zach LaVine prop. The idea I had was that the Pelicans will play a fast pace. But you know what? I'm going to study that a little more. I'm not just going to make that right now. Let's move on to Sixers, Bucks. Sixers, Bucks. Man, this Bucks team's good. 43 wins in their first 50 games, and they bounce back from losses. And my initial thought, Teddy, was that, do the Bucks really care about that Christmas Day loss? Well, they do. And Middleton said they beat us as a player, as a competitor. You never want to lose one game, let alone lose 2 times in a row to a team. I was surprised that they were so angry about it. And this Philadelphia team can't be trusted on the road and can't be trusted when they're pushed around. And Ben Simmons called them soft. Ben Simmons called his own team soft. They allowed 81 second-half points in that beatdown in Miami on Monday night. And Embiid did answer back. So he went 1 for 11 in the loss to Boston. I backed him in the player props. And even though they lost by 31, he got me the cash there. Sixers, Bucks. Teddy, is this a spot where the Bucks just smash? Let's just quickly look at the odds market. Bucks open up at -9. They're now -8.5. So we don't even need to get to double digits. What do you think here, Teddy? Sixers, Bucks.
So my initial lean was absolutely to Milwaukee. All right. I mean, make me a case for Philly. It's a hard case to make. The case to make for the Bucks is a lot easier than the case to make for the Sixers right now. Then I started looking at it close, and I talked myself out of Milwaukee completely. Go back and look at the Bucks' last 20 games. All right, since they lost to the Sixers on Christmas, one weakling after the next. I mean, their schedule's been ridiculous of late. I mean, it really has. I mean, ridiculous isn't even the appropriate word. Their schedule's been, again, I'm just going to run through it of late for Milwaukee, all right? We have in their last 10, all right, Pelicans losing record, Phoenix losing record, Denver, they lost that game, Washington losing record, Charlotte losing record, Chicago losing record, Brooklyn, does Brooklyn still have a losing record? They do. Boston failed to cover that game, won only by 5. Knicks losing record, Blazers losing record. You can go back 10 more games back further. You're going to see they've been feasting on the weak. This Philly week. That's the key question. I wouldn't argue with anyone who's been fading the Sixers to continue fading the Sixers. If you've been riding this Philly run where they're falling apart and everything's going wrong, yeah, you ride it till it dies. If you're trying to jump in here off a particularly bad, humiliating loss where everyone's calling everyone out and Embiid saying the offense doesn't work and Simmons saying we're soft, if there's one game that the Sixers are going to show up for, it's this game. And when we look at Philly's biggest problems has been when they step down in class, they lose intensity, like the Nuggets in that way. When they step up, sure, they've had some beatdowns. They've also had some real good games. So it's the kind of game where Philly's interested. It's the kind of game where Philly, coming off a particularly bad loss, is likely to show. And it's a Bucks team that has been feasting on the weak that now has to take a step up in class. And you look at the meetings last year between these two teams, it wasn't like the Bucks were blowing them out every time. Competitive battle. So my lean was absolutely Milwaukee, and I talked myself out of it.
Yeah, I'm happy that you did, because I was very interested to hear your breakdown on that game, and there's no reason for me to force a play on a small card, and that's a problem I have in NBA and NHL, is when the card is small, I want to have action, and I just force a play, and I'm not going to today. I'm very close to pulling the trigger on the Blazers. We talk about comments in the locker room a lot. McCollum says, huge game for us. Going to be crucial down the stretch of the season. Could decide our fate. Lillard coming off an off game. It's about time he had one. 127-99 road loss to the Nuggets. Nazir Little, we're not sure if he's going to be able to play. He hurt his ankle, left ankle. But Spurs, this is a tough trip. And the Spurs really, they're sort of a Jekyll and Hyde group, and they've given me no reason to think that they can, as you put it, go on the highway and win games. This is a very small spread. I basically just need the Blazers to win this game. And that's what they have to do. The Spurs are 8-16 on the road. Blazers 13-11 at home. They got to change that around. I'm very close to making a move on these Blazers. Do you give me the green light to do it?
I'm expecting a really close game. This game is every bit as important to San Antonio, if not more so, than to Portland. And let's not forget, the Spurs start this road trip. They fight the Clips to the wire and lose. They're in L.A. and they run into a Lakers team. They're in that game, and the Lakers start raining threes in the fourth, and then they're not in that game. So now they're 0-2 to start the rodeo road trip. There's every bit the sense of urgency for San Antonio as there is for Portland tonight. And in general, I'd rather be taking points than laying them in these type of situations. Do you understand what I'm saying? When you have two teams, and from a power rating standpoint, again, my number on the game, 2.5, 3. Where these two teams are basically power rated even, and I believe that. I'm not looking at the Blazers. Say, wow, they're a lot better than San Antonio. They're not. Two comparable teams playing with a ton on the line. And again, what Lillard did over that 2-week span is ridiculous. But note that he's never done that before. He's had some runs. That's the single best run of his career. He came back to earth. And you think Pop is going to have a defense that's going to force the ball out of Lillard's hands tonight? Yeah, I don't want to step in front of Portland in this spot, but I think San Antonio gives them a game, and I wouldn't be surprised they give them a game right down to the final possession.
Ski Profit like in the over here. Interesting. It's gone from 231 to 229. He's going up against the market move. Very, very, very interesting. Okay.
Series history there is all overs. It's 6-1 the last 7 to the over. That dates back a couple of years. And first meeting between these two teams this year got to the most recent meeting got to 237. The one back in October was only at 223.
Well, yeah, anytime Ski's on any play, makes sense just to follow along with it. The only move I've made on this card right now is Lakers minus 7.5. I'm going to need more time to make additions. I'm probably going to make a move on the prop market. It was a play that Teddy Covers was on. Lakers minus 7.5. I love that look. Great look. And I'm happy we got to talk some of these plays out. Teddy, did you make any moves after your one-day hiatus from NCAA basketball?
I did. I made 2 moves. One, the line's already gone. I took UCLA plus 6.5 last night. That's down to 5. And I was even seeing some of that going up towards, there's no 4.5. Yeah. You can still find 5 there. I got 6.5 in pocket. I wouldn't be surprised if the Bruins win the game. But again, you're not getting the best of the number there. And the other one that I had I took St. Mary's tonight. We're going to continue to fade the Toreros at home. That's again, UCLA is betting number 691. St. Mary's betting number 695. I got them minus 11 in the Slim Jim. San Diego is a dead nuts bet against team at home right now. And St. Mary's coming off a loss. People were, look ahead to Gonzaga over the weekend. You look at the history, St. Mary's actually is real good before the Zags. They tend to be focused, and off a loss, I think they'll be real focused. And I still remember when they held the Toreros to 27 on this floor a couple of years ago. They might do it again tonight. I like the Gales minus the spot. Both of those are West Coast game. If you need some late night bailout action, UCLA and St. Mary's, one favorite, one dog.
UCLA, St. Mary's, and the Lakers for Teddy Covers. Teddy Covers, I can't wait to cap with you again tomorrow. It's been an honor to work with a legend like yourself. So, another day to hammer the card, and I'm very excited about it. Let's get that cash today, and can't wait to see you tomorrow.
I look forward to it, Jimmy. Hey, no weeping, man. We're not allowed to weep. Good times. All smiles here, brother. Good luck tonight.
Much love. Follow this man on Twitter at Teddy_Covers. And next up, we have Maxwell Smart coming off a giant night. Max coming off 15 wins, 7 losses, plus 7.68 units. Max is eating. He's eating. Can we run the intro for Maxwell Smart?
It wasn't until 2018 that the diamond in the rough went from hooligan to king of the world.
The guy couldn't play for shit, dog. He was awful. But can he cap? Guess he can.
Maxwell Smart, huge day. Talk about a bounce back. I mean, and your day before was just 4-5 down 1.4 units. But if that's what it takes to get you to have a giant day, then hey, it worked. Great job. How are you doing on this Thursday morning?
To be quite frank, I'm doing like everybody else in the chat. I'm reeling right now. The fact is, Jim, if you hadn't told me that I could do this and that we would have the on-camera chemistry that we do, I would have been like, you've been drinking too much. And now being able to work with you for this long, it's leaving a ever-widening void in my content creation, and it just doesn't seem like it's reality right now. But obviously we're here to cap cards, and college basketball is my sport, and obviously I got a bunch of plays out, so I'm gonna try my best to stay focused on the card. But obviously this is a time that I'm having a difficult time with.
Yeah, you know, we had a connection right from the very first time, we started talking online, and then, we got to drink heavily together, and I got you for life, Max, and any show you do will be so popular, and you are so exciting. And when I started working with you, I was like, Max is the most exciting capper in the game since Gabe Morency. And I mean that. You're a monster, and you're going to have a hugely successful career, and I want nothing more than to work with you as much as possible, and I will keep trying. I will keep trying to work with you, especially now. I mean, conference tournaments are coming up, and God, you've seen the run that I'm on, tailing your action right now. I'm starting to see these double ups that you're on and jumping all over them. From a capping perspective, I love it enormously. From a friendship perspective, I love it enormously. And now we're going to be in Toronto together, so we're going to be hanging out together all the time. So thank you for those kind words, Max, my guy. And we still have 2 shows left together, so let's get to work right now, Max. Taking a look at your action, going big on Robert Morris and the under. Robert Morris -3, Robert Morris under 137, Robert Morris first half under 64.5 at -110, coming off a giant day. Can we please put Max's record up on the screen, because it keeps climbing and climbing and climbing, his overall record. Also, Max hit his best bet yesterday with ease. We now have a 2.52% ROI on 1,060 picks. That's spectacular. Break down this Robert Morris triple up spot for you, and then we'll start going through your card.
Yeah, this is a spot where I think that Wagner losing by 30 points to this Robert Morris in the first meeting that they had is going to be a real telltale sign. What we've seen from Robert Morris outside of that game is this is a team that wants to get to 65 points and wants to hold their opponent underneath that. When we look at the over-under margins for the last 5 games, 4 out of those 5 games have gone under by more than 7 points on the closing line. That provided a lot of validation to my line, which had this game lined at 133.5. So I jumped on the 137 full game. I jumped on the under first half. It's a correlated play, and I think that Robert Morris may have a little bit of trouble with Wagner in the first half. I think that Wagner will have an advantage in the first half, may be able to stay within a couple buckets. But I do think in the end, with Robert Morris playing the defense that they do, and with having good front court play to go along with very efficient three-point shooting, I think that Robert Morris can be able to do just enough to cover this. I don't think that they win this game by 10, but I do think they win this game by 6 to 8 points.
You've had a good run on Robert Morris, a very nice run on Robert Morris. You are on Winthrop this evening. Winthrop at minus 15.5 and the over 143 at minus 112. Break down those two spots, and then I've got all your stuff locked down on my worksheet.
Yeah, this is a simple spot for me. Winthrop has just been way too efficient and way too explosive in spurts of games. What have we seen from Winthrop? Winthrop has had maybe a little bit of struggles in the first half where you expect them to be up a little more, but they're just making a couple unforced turnovers or missing a couple open three-point shots. Well, in this game tonight, I think that may be the case. That's why I'm going to take them full game. I think that Winthrop has demonstrated that they are a second-half team. They are a bet-on second-half team. They come on strong. The scoring margins support that. What I've watched with my own eyes support that. And with Campbell, they do the opposite. They come out very strong in the first half. This is a Campbell team that I do have an edge and a number that favors Campbell in this first half. But I do think, like a folding chair, they will fold in the second half, and Winthrop will get their pace, get their tempo, and dominate on the defensive glass, hit their three-point shots, and when you get 13 to 15 offensive rebounds a game, you can definitely count on another 10 points in addition coming out of that. So Winthrop is going to win this game by 20 in my estimations. At 15.5, it's worth the number. And at over 143, I think that this is a short number also. I had this game lined at 148. There's the value right there. There's the reason for the bet.
Winthrop is now 16-point favorites right now. Sorry, let me move over to spreads and totals here on the best odds page on the planet. If you want to support the show, hit the link at the bottom of the screen, www.sbrvideo.com/thebag. Okay, Winthrop total. Let's just take a look at that. Max, your total work yesterday was very, very, very strong. It opened at 143.5, and it's still there. Bookmakers moved it up a point. Bovada's moved it up a half point, so is Intertops. But if you want to jump on that over, it's still available. Max is already hit with Green Bay first half under. Great job. Max's record keeps climbing. All right, let's take a look at the next spot you're on, Max, before your additions. That is Hampton. You're on this Hampton over 148. Pinnacle opened it up at 149, and it's at 148 there. It's at 148.5 at some other books. You can still get it at 149. And Max is on this Hampton over 148 minus 110. Hampton High Point. Why are you on it?
Yeah, this is a spot where when you have Jermaine Merrill and Ben Stanley, that's a combination of players that can give you a win by themselves against the likes of High Point. Yes, High Point definitely has had a couple games where they've been able to hit above 70, but this is a team that you regularly expect to get under 70 points. And with Hampton, the way that they play defense, they're gonna allow even some of the worst offensive teams to look good against them. I think that in this game, this is just a spot where the scoring is going to make a difference, and not having Curtis Holland is going to hurt them. I think when you look at this Hampton team, they do a lot of things that are, I'm not going to say good, but I'll say that are good enough. What they do well is get to the free throw line a shit ton, especially in the last couple games. You could expect them to make 20 free throws, and when you do that with the clock stopped, that's definitely going to benefit any total that you're on. And I think that when I looked at this game, I still would align this game in the 153 to 155 range. And at the number that I got it, I think that there is enough value to justify making an official show so play. I think that when you look at High Point, they are going to be able to do their fair share of scoring with the clock stopped, also at the free throw line. And both teams do a good job of offensive rebounding. So you know what? It's going to be possibly second chance opportunities, possibly fouling. It all adds up to me as being an over, and then throw in Hampton's style of defense, which is allow anybody that wants to get to the rim. So pretty standard plays for me by my estimations.
Max, you have been absolutely crushing first halves at a very high rate. And so I'm 21-6 in my last 7 tails, and they're over half of them are first half plays. And you are on a first half dog here. And you're going for the money line and not taking the points. This game pops off at 6 p.m. Eastern, an hour before the rest of the games. That is USC Upstate, UNC Asheville. USC Upstate on the road here, and you are backing them first half money line at plus 132. No need for the points for Max here. Tell us why you like USC Upstate.
Okay, so I'm actually on this game 3 ways, Jim. I'm on the under full game, I'm on UNC Asheville full game, and I'm on USC Upstate first half. This is a simple spot where my numbers like Asheville and think that they get revenge and win this game by 10 plus points. Secondly, Everett Hammond may not play with a knee injury for South Carolina Upstate. That's a big loss considering what his offensive contribution was in the first game. Thirdly, when I look at this UNC Asheville team, they are just slow starters. They just have problems getting out and getting going. This is a team that you can expect to score 40 points in the second half. But with this South Carolina Upstate team, they do some things that I think that are going to be beneficial. They do a good job of getting to the free throw line in the first half. So they try and establish getting into the paint and penetrating early, which is always beneficial because you get guys into foul trouble. And they do a good job of not turning the basketball over. I think that you can get some good play out of them for 20 minutes if they don't have Everett Hammond. And then I think Asheville, with their scoring and their arsenal of scores, they will eventually get the revenge and take over in the second half.
Triple up here. My fault. I didn't recognize that. USC Upstate first half money line, and then going on the other side here with UNC Asheville full game, and market coming in on them full game. So he got him at 4.5. That's not widely available right now. And the under 148.5. I love it, Max. Let's go to another spot and another team that's been very good to you this year. That being North Florida. They're at NJIT. 1-point favorites on the first half, 2-point favorites on the full game, and you're backing them full game. Why are you on North Florida here this evening?
Yeah, this is a spot where it's going to be the theme of the day. It's revenge. I think that when North Florida played NJIT, pretty much the only reason why they won is because they got 2 out-of-body performances from guys that you don't really expect. Shaquan Gibbs had 21 points. Santonio Brinson had 37. Zach Cooks had under 10. So that was an unusual performance. They shot a very high percentage from the field. I do not expect New Jersey Institute of Technology to be able to do that again. And I expect North Florida to be able to get to the free throw line, make their 75% of the free throws, for guys like Wahid Aminu and frickin' Garrett Sams to get going offensively, because we've seen Aminu really dominate inside over the last couple games. Don't forget about Carter Hendrickson. So there's a lot of versatile pieces, and I just don't know how North Florida is not going to be able to step on NJIT. I think that winning 4 out of your last 5, being able to significantly cover these spreads is also a big thing. And when it comes to the total, I think that this is just, I think it's just too low. I agreed with the opener, and then when I saw it go down to 143 and a half, I was like, shit, I got to get on this 143 right now. I think that this game hits 150. I think that North Florida, if they aren't winning this game by 10 to 15 points, it's going to be offensive. I think Zach Cooks definitely plays more confident on his home floor. And simply, this is not an opponent like Florida Gulf Coast or Kennesaw State who are going to slow the tempo down and play towards an under. I think that NGIT is going to be outmatched on several fronts tonight, and that's why I took the -2.
North Florida -2 at -107 and the over 143, a double up here from Max. I have tailed the Taint play of the day and also Maxwell Smart's action. They are both on Robert Morris -3, and I'm getting him at 3.5. So we'll see if that bites me right in the brown eye, that half point, but I have to take it if they're both on it, and I should have jumped on it earlier. We'll see if that gets me. And a little nervous about it, but I am taking it. And I'm very interested in North Florida, and you're over in that spot, Max. I'm very close to tailing that. But let's move on to a dog that you're on here, Stetson. Stetson of Florida Gulf Coast. Florida Gulf Coast opening up at -2.5, Pinnacle now -3. You jumped in on Stetson at +2.5. Why are you backing Stetson here?
Yeah, I think that's my numbers really like Stetson. They thought that this should be a pick'em game, so then you have your 2.5 points of value. With the Stetson team, we've seen them just be very dominant from a winning perspective, and I think that anytime you can get plus points with them, it's warranted making a play. This is a team that is going to play fantastic defense. They're going to guard you properly on the perimeter. They do have some interior fouling issues, but I expect that with inexperienced big men. But from a matchup perspective, I just think that with Florida Gulf Coast, it's really all or nothing with Caleb Cato and Zach Scott. And if they aren't scoring the basketball for this Florida Gulf Coast team, they're going to have problems. I think that with Stetson, this is a team that can win a variety of different paces of game, and they love to play this rock-style game. When we watched them play against Lipscomb the other day, what happened? It didn't get past 55. Stetson has some really nice pieces from an Atlantic Sun perspective, and that starts with Rob Perry. If Rob Perry can get his offense going, he's a big boy at 210 pounds. He averages close to 16 points a game, and I think that he gets on the glass well enough. This is a team that crashes the board. This is a team that plays good defense without fouling, and I think that's going to be the key. I think that this game does not go to overtime like the first meeting, and I think that Stetson wins this game, so I took the +2.5.
Stetson and North Florida are very appealing. I've only made a move on Robert Morris at this point. It's the only spot, but our Barry McCockner says double down on Robert Morris. Wagner is a trash can. Your final look of plays that you sent out before the show started, Mount St. Mary's under. This is still sitting at 137, readily available for us to hammer. Why did you take this Mount St. Mary's LIU under?
Yeah, this is a spot where just my numbers liked it. I had this game lined at 132.5. I thought that with Mount St. Mary, definitely have been missing the offensive contribution off the bench of Vado Morris. But I think that when you have guys like Jalen Gibbs and Malik Jefferson, I think that you have enough pieces up front and to balance your offensive attack to really frustrate LIU. What does LIU want to do? Speed up the process. I think that Mount St. Mary is going to be able to shut them down. I think that they're going to be able to frustrate LIU, and I think that Mount St. Mary, although they have been playing some games more to the over, are going to struggle to find their shot as well. When you look at LIU, they have very good size within their starting lineup. As long as Raekwon Clark is not fouling, it's gonna be a struggle, in my opinion, for both teams to score consistently. When you look at their point possession, point per minutes stats, it also reflects that. And like I said, at 132.5 that I lined this game at, it makes sense to jump on the under with that much value.
Max has made moves. Green Bay first half under, already cashed. Robert Morris -3. Robert Morris under 137. Robert Morris first half under 64.5. Hampton over 148. USC Upstate first half money line. UNC Asheville -4.5. UNC Asheville, USC Upstate under 148.5. Mount St. Mary's under 137. North Florida -2 and over 143. Stetson +2.5. Winthrop -15.5 and over 143. Now we get to additions, Max. What are the additions you'd like to make?
Yeah, so I'm going to take Sacred Heart first half. This is a spot where Sacred Heart, losing Cameron Parker, thought that it would be a bigger loss, but with Aaron Clark, I think his name is. He's been able to step in, really replace some of the scoring, be a good ball handler to go along with the very dominant front court and Kareem Ozier. So Sacred Heart first half, I have them having a significant advantage, and I think that'll take them and make it official for the show.
Yeah, you can get -1.5 at -115. That's available at Heritage. -1.5 at -115. Then you can get -2 at -110 at Bovada, Bet365. Pinnacle hanging at 1.5 at -121.
No, I'll take the -115. If it was 105, then I would take the 2.
That makes sense. All right, keep rolling, Max.
All right, so we're going to go to this Merrimack FDU game. So everyone knows I really love FDU. I'm a big fan of Jahiel Jenkins and Xavier Malone Key. But I think in this Merrimack matchup, they're just going to be stopped and started with their defense. I think that when you look at Merrimack, what do? They play zone. They guard the ball really well, and they have the guy that picks the most pockets in Division I basketball. I don't think Merrimack's going to fall behind like they did versus FDU in the first game, because remember, FDU was out to a big lead at halftime. Merrimack literally turned it on, locked down defense, and then was able to win, and only win by, I think, 3 or 4 points. With this Merrimack team, I think that they're going to be able to get off to a better start, knowing what happened, and the numbers support it. So Merrimack first half is going to be a play as well.
Merrimack first half, I can get you a -0.5 at +101, a pick 'em at -105. Let me move over to money lines and see if I can do better than that here quickly. Merrimack first half, let me grab it here, and oh wow, interesting. So I can give you a -0.5 at +101 or a -105 money line.
I'll take the money line. Then I get the tie potential.
Yep, Merrimack first half -105. All right, keep rolling.
All right, so we've already talked about Hampton once, but we're going to talk about them again. We're going to go to Hampton. We're going to take Hampton first half. I think that by my estimations, they have a 4 to 6 point advantage in the first half, and that's enough for me to take them on the first half -1.
Sorry, can you say that again, Max? The chat, Paco Healy on the chat got me there. Can you say that again?
Hampton first half.
Hampton first half. All right, let's get you that right now. I'm sorry. Hampton first half. Okay, so the money line is juiced. Let's get you a point spread here for Hampton first half. Okay, there we go. Hampton first half at the -1. I can give you a -1 at -110 or money line -125. Imagine the -1 and -110.
Yes, sir.
All right, keep rolling.
All right, Charleston Southern. I think that they have 4-point advantage in the first half. With Dontrell Schuler and Phalangis Fleming, you know what you're going to get. And they are an evolving scoring duo. I think that they continue at least into the first half today.
Oh, man. Sorry, Max. I'm getting a little overloaded with the chat. Can you hit me with that one more time?
Yep, Charleston Southern, first half.
Charleston Southern, first half. I have a -3.5 at +102 or a -3 at -105.
Are you looking at first half or full games?
I thought I was looking. Yeah, that's first half. Sorry, Charleston.
Yeah.
Sorry, my fault. I was looking at Charleston. Charleston Southern, I can give you a pick 'em at -113 or a -0.5 at +100.
I'll take the -0.5.
And that's available at Bet365. Charleston Southern -0.5. Okay, keep rolling.
All right. And then I'm going to take a couple flyers on a couple first halves that are purely based on numbers. Campbell, first half, if you can get +9, which you can. So I'll take the +9 on Campbell first half.
Sounds good. I can give you +9 at -105.
That works for me. And then I'm going to take Jacksonville first half also at +5.5. This is a spot where I think that Jacksonville's been very efficient scoring the basketball as of late. I think that they're going to need to push the pace, not allow Liberty to set up the defense. I do think that they should be able to hang in this game at least for a half, knowing what they're going up against. The question is this total too low? We saw what happened last time. It was around this number and it went under by 27 points. What it sounds to me like, a place that I'll sell points on both sides of the total.
Jacksonville, first half, I can give you +5 at -105 or +5.5 at -115.
Take the 5.5 at -115, Jim.
Jacksonville, first half, +5.5, -115. Keep rolling, Max.
Nope, that's it for, actually, no, there's one more. There's, Gardner Webb. So, yeah, I think that Gardner Webb wins this game. I think that Presbyterian has been good to us. I think that it's time to get off that train. I'm going to go with Gardner Webb -1.5 first half, -110, and I'm going to take them full game.
All right, we're going to give you Gardner Webb. I just tailed Max's Jacksonville first half +5.5 at -115. I may get some more here in a second as we talk about some other spots on this card. Gardner Webb first half, I can give you -1 at -115 or 1.5 at 105.
Yeah, I'll take the 1.5 at 105.
All right, we're going to give you Gardner Webb I can't go GW because that's George Washington. Gardner first half. Okay, sorry, -1.5 at -105. There we go. And we're going to give you Gardner full game right now. While I am grabbing Gardner full game, and we still have the play of the day coming up very, very soon. We have some questions that have come in. One from Guillermo Zutucci, our guy Guillermo, wondering what you think about Wichita State here. I've copied and pasted some other questions. Wichita State at home against Cincinnati. And they are 5.5-point favorites. It's opened up at 3.5 now, 5.5 at Pinnacle, 5 at some other books. What do you think of Wichita State at home against the Bearcats?
Yeah, this is a spot where I probably look at Wichita State. The fact is, with Wichita State's ability to turn around and hit threes, I think that's going to challenge the defense of Cincinnati. Cincinnati is playing a more Northern Kentucky style pace and quality of offense, but I just think that Wichita State's got to be ready for this game against Cincinnati. I think that you have the better coach in Greg Marshall. I will say that youth sometimes can be a little less consistent in games like this. But I think that with the firepower and the front court ability of Trey Wade and Jamie Etchenique, I think that's going to be enough to take care of business and get you a winner if you're on Wichita State.
Great stuff, Max. Question with Gardner Webb. Do you want them for full game -2 at -117, -2.5, or -2.5 at -110?
-2.5 at 110.
-2.5 at -110. I will get you that right now. While I'm doing that, let's take a look at some of the other big spots on the board. We've already heard that Teddy Covers is backing St. Mary's -11 against San Diego, the late night special. What do you think of St. Mary's as 11-point favorites?
Yeah, I think it's a good spot for St. Mary's. I think that what Teddy said is absolutely true. San Diego is untrustworthy at home. And if you know that you're going up against Gonzaga and you're coming off a less than stellar performance without saying that they lost, which they did, I think that's a good spot to get back on St. Mary's. So, yeah, I agree situationally.
All right, and Max has got Gardner Webb, and he's completely locked in on his spots on this card. I did copy and paste another question for you that came in earlier in the show. I wish I could find it. I'm sure that I will be able to find it here. Yes, from Anthony Chalmers. He was asking about this UCLA total. Let me get to it right now. We already know that Teddy Covers is on UCLA. Let's see what Max has to say about this total. Our Anthony Chalmers thinking about going over this total, and let's see where it is right now. UCLA, Arizona State opened up at 141. You can still get it at that price, or at 141.5, Max.
Yeah, I think that from a stylistic perspective, it doesn't fit the Mick Cronin style. I think that with UCLA, they don't want to get into an up-tempo game with Arizona State. That suits Arizona State. I think that with UCLA, their best chance at winning this game is to slow it down, make it a rock fest. And by my numbers, I would have had this game only at 135.5 with the new adjustment to UCLA style of play.
I know that you keep a close eye on Spokane's finest. Gonzaga opening up as 26-point favorites. They're now 25 or 24.5 against Loyola Marymount. We have a question in from the chat wondering what you think about these Zags from Atticus Gould. What do you think? Do you think this is too many points?
Listen, with Gonzaga, you're coming off a really bad performance that you were luckily able to get the win on, and I think that you got to come out strong at home. I think with Loyola Marymount, they're a slow-paced offense. They want to shut it down. They want to turn it into a rock fight, and unless Gonzaga is going to hit their three-point shot in both halves and not just one half, well, this could be a hard number for them to get over. I think that the trend of hitting Gonzaga overs first half and full game may be coming to an end also. So it's a spot that I don't really feel too comfortable giving a pick either way on.
All right, next question, and we got to get to this to your play today very, very soon. Next question came in from our Joel Duria asking what you think about this Marshall Southern Miss over. Marshall Southern Miss over. It's a spot that our Babineaux gave out. Marshall Southern Miss over. Let me grab you the exact lines right now quickly. It's open at 146, now at 147, Max.
Yeah, this is a spot where I don't really have too much of an edge. My numbers were pretty much on with the openers, so I didn't really pay too much of attention to it. But the way that Southern Miss has been playing, I don't know. Maybe they can surprise somebody on the road. I like them better at home, but double digits with Southern Miss could be of interest to me, but nothing on the total.
We have a question from our guy, OJ Hernandez, wondering what you think of this Tulsa game tonight. Tulsa at home against your UConn Huskies. Tulsa opening up a 4.5. Money coming in on your Huskies, now down to 2.5. This is a great game to lead us into the play of the day. What do you think about this Tulsa, Connecticut spot?
Yeah, I think that I'm a UConn fan. I'm wearing a UConn hat right now, Husky pride, and obviously I think UConn's going to win the game.
All right,
I
there we
don't
go.
give a shit what my numbers say. I don't give a shit what the stats say. I don't give a shit what anyone says. UConn! UConn!
Okay, that's perfect lead in. That's a perfect lead in to the play of the day. Max coming off winner of the play of the day. He's hot on this play of the day. Can you pop up the play of the day record, please, Rafa? And with the play of the day, we are 9 for our last 12. 9-3 in our last 12. We are on a 3-game winning streak on the play of the day. Lafayette first half at plus 110. Colorado State first half at plus 106. And yesterday's Northern Iowa first half at -2 was an easy casher for us. Maxwell Smart, what is today's play of the day?
Jim, I got 3 plays of the day.
Ooh, I love it.
Yeah. Okay, so first off, let's go to this New Mexico State game. Simply, we're taking New Mexico State. Fuck Chicago State. Everybody's been fading them. I've been fading them. I want to fucking knock some of that minus off that record, so let's go New Mexico State. We'll make that a play of the day. Second, Austin P., what have you done for me? Cash me goddamn tickets galore for free. And you know what? I'm going to jump on them again. You want to give me less than a bucket with the Governors? This is a team with Scary Terry Taylor. They can do it on the road. They can do it at home. I think that this is an undervalued number. They think that's a letdown spot. Well, this is a team that wants to remain in the top of the conference, and they are going to do so with a win tonight. So give me Austin P. What number can you get me? Because I got -2 on the opener.
First off, with New Mexico State, I'm going to give you minus 23.5 at -103. New Mexico State minus 23.5 at -103. For Austin P, you can, money coming in on them fast, Max. Those 2s are gone. There's a 3.5 at -105.
A 3.5 minus 105. Yeah.
All right.
I have them winning this game by 9 points. So
Minus
I'll take
3.5 and minus 105. New Mexico State, Austin P. What's next?
All right, the last one is something that we've gone to, and we're going to go back to the well with them one more time. It's Cal Baptist Lancers first half. What do they do in first halves? They smack people around. They hold them under 30 points. You got Ferron Flavors, Milan Akua. You got Brandon Boyd. You got guys that can freaking score the basketball for this team. Add in the front court contributions of Zach Parag. I think that Cal Baptist has been dangerous at home early, dangerous at home late, and they're going to get us a first half winner to date.
Cal Baptist. Let's get you that right now. Here we go. Cal Baptist. Here we go. Cal Baptist first half minus 3.5 and minus 105. Cal Baptist first half minus 3.5 at minus 105. Minus 105. Beautiful. And the great thing about when we have haters come in like Tim Duncan is that we are the most transparent, honest show that there is going. We every record, every bet that Max makes, we record, and then we tell everybody what he did yesterday, and then we give out his full record. So Tim Duncan says, don't ever follow this guy's picks seriously. And then he says, nah, he can't cap his picks, lose daily. So our Maxwell Smart is coming off of a big day for himself. 15 wins, 7 losses, plus 7.68 units. And with over 1,000 bets and missing those 27 bets that bother me so much when Max's Twitter account got broke down. Can you please put up Max's overall record just to stick it in Tim Duncan's brown eye, right in his old bottom mouth? I hope you take it in the prison pocket today. And let me also say that you've sullied the great name Tim Duncan. You son of a bitch. Blow us all. All right, there we go. I am tailing Max's best bets right now. I'm going to tail New Mexico State minus 23.5, Austin P minus 3.5, and Cal Baptist, excuse me, first half. There we go. I'm going to copy that, put it right here. And there you have it. So I know we've gone late, and I apologize, Rafa. I apologize. Let's just quickly go over the looks for everybody. I tailed 5 plays. Robert Morris minus 3.5. Jacksonville first half plus 5.5. New Mexico State minus 23.5. Austin P minus 3.5. Cal Baptist minus 3.5. Those last 3 were the plays of the day that Max just gave out. He's also on Gardner Webb full game minus 2.5. Gardner Webb first half minus 1.5. Jacksonville first half plus 5.5. Campbell first half plus 9. Charleston, that was Charleston Southern, right? Sorry, I didn't write that in. Charleston Southern first half minus 0.5 at plus 100. Hampton first half minus 1. Merrimack first half minus 105. Sacred Heart first half minus 1.5. Winthrop minus 15.5 minus 108. And the over 143 minus 112. Stetson plus 2.5. North Florida minus 2. And the over 143. Mount St. Mary under 137.5. Or no, 137. Excuse me, minus 105. And then he tripled up on that USC Upstate, UNC Asheville game, taking Upstate first half money line plus 132. And Asheville minus 4.5 minus 108. And the under 148.5. Oh man, I'm gonna have to put all these records in. God. Hampton over 148. Robert Morris first half under 64.5 and under 137. Robert Morris minus 3. That's also the taint play of the day in Green Bay first half under 77.5. Cuban Connect is with them on Winthrop. He's also on William & Mary plus 6 and BYU minus 16.5. Teddy Covers made moves on UCLA and St. Mary's. Rod Zawacki's on the Pelicans minus 4.5. Portland minus 3.5. Lakers minus 7.5. Bucks minus 8.5. And he did. Rod Zawacki's got a 3-team parlay. Bucks, Portland, Lakers. Bucks, Portland, Lakers at plus 595. His 10-star play of the day is Austin P minus 3.5. So Rod Zawacki and Maxwell Smart lining up for that Austin P spot that I tailed. He's also on Tulsa minus 2.5, Winthrop minus 15, BYU minus 16, Georgia State minus 4, Cincy plus 5.5, Houston minus 16.5. And he put a little college 3-teamer together. Austin P minus 3.5, Tulsa minus 2.5, Houston minus 16.5 at plus 557. Babineaux took the Southern Miss Marshall over, and he went against the big market move on this UTSA Old Dominion over. Viper and B making a move on Vucevic points. The guru play of the day is the USC Trojans at plus 10.5. And the Lamont Williams parlays in soccer, it's Real Madrid and Barcelona both on the money line. Matt Randall, Taint play of the day. Robert Morris -3 is also on Eastern Kentucky +7.5. UIC -4. San Francisco over 134 and Tulsa -3. The Kings back play of the day is Marshall -10. And Matt Randall also made the move on Kentucky +265. The only NBA look I'm on right now is the Lakers -7.5. That might change. That might change. I'm also on the Ducks +155 at 5 dimes. Let me just grab this all for you quickly. All my NHL moves are here on. Okay, here, let me go. Sorry about this, and sorry. We only have 2 shows left, Rafa, and I apologize to everyone for us going along today. Florida, Vegas under 6.5 at -120. Sharks, Oilers under 6.5 at -115. Ducks +155. Avalanche -1.5 +130. Flyers -1.5 at +120. Oilers -1.5 at +160. And then right now, I'm very quickly going to add the St. Louis Blues. St. Louis Blues right now. I'm going to add the St. Louis Blues. So let me go over to today, and I'm going to add the Blues on the puck line to get back at these Jets that got them badly. Here we go. First half. Blues, or sorry, not first half, point spread Blues. I think the Blues get them, pay them back. +130 at 5 dimes. That's my last edition on this NHL card. St. Louis Blues, and let me put that in right now. St. Louis Blues. Here we go. Blues -1.5 at +130. Jamming with J Money coming back. Jamming with J Money coming back. Tim Duncan, he's at 52.5%. His ROI is plus 2.5%. So yeah, you're right. He's not here to break even. I guess you're new to capping. Good luck. Max, could you please let Jay us out of here?
Yeah, of course, Jim. Obviously, cover your freaking face, wash your goddamn hands, and don't get the coronavirus. And of course, Leche, a los bookmaker.